This is Modern Photo Solutions, helping you find modern solutions for life's photographic journey. Taking you from photo overwhelm to photo fabulous in just a few taps. Your story matters. It's time to start telling it. Hey everyone, welcome to Modern Photo Solutions. I'm Steph Clay and I am so excited to be here with you today. Thank you so much for joining me. I am looking forward to talking to you today about something that I started a couple of years ago, a December project. But first I wanted to mention the day that this goes live is my birthday, the day before Thanksgiving, and I love having my birthday around Thanksgiving. I love Thanksgiving. I know some people detest it because turkey is not their favorite food, but as you're enjoying your holiday festivities, think of me because I absolutely love it. Today we are going to be talking about December projects. And I want to put out there very first thing, Christmas is a really hard time for me. I know that for a lot of people, it is a very magical and wonderful time of year, but it's hard for me. And I know that I'm not alone in that as well. So what is a December project? December daily is a term that Ali Edwards has trademarked. And it's actually a project that somebody else started a couple years before Ali jumped on with it as well. But Ali is definitely the one who has run with it and made it what it is today. And she describes it as a project where you document one story each day, December 1st through the 25th. And I have to be honest with you, for most of my life since this started being a thing 6 years or so ago, 5 years or so ago, the mere idea of doing a December daily made me want to crawl into the fetal position and cry. It was too much for me during a time of year that is already really busy, stressful, and emotionally challenging for me. So I couldn't even stand the thought of taking it on. But this changed for me in December of 2014, 2 years ago, during a time of my life when things were extremely difficult, more difficult than they ever had been. And I yearned for something to help keep my focus on what really matters most to me and what matters most during the holidays for me. And I needed something to help me see the good in my life at that time. And so over Thanksgiving of that year, I decided that I was going to do my own December project. The Project Life app had just been released a month or two before, and I had had a lot of success with doing things on my phone through the Project Life app and through other apps. And it was fast and it was simple. And so as I started thinking about that over Thanksgiving, I knew that I could probably do a December project, a daily December project, and have it be successful. And so I decided to call it #DecemberSuccess, and I wrote an article about it at the Daily Digi, which I will link up to in the show notes. And I called it, you ready for this? In which we document the days of December on our phone for the overwhelmed and underachieved. Because that is definitely how I felt about it. Completely overwhelmed and underachieved because I knew that it was something I could not finish, and so I never even started it. And I did it for iPhone and Android too, and had Android apps referenced in there that people could use. I did not use the Project Life app because at that time, the Project Life app did not have any Christmas cards in it at all. And I had a specific layout format that I wanted to do. I wanted to have a square and then something that looked like a journaling card and a 3x4 card and then a 4x6 card next to it. So the 3x4 card, and then I guess it would be 6x4 next to it. And then the same thing on the bottom, but reverse flipped. And you can see all of that in the article that I will link to on the Daily Digi. And that wasn't something that was available in the Project Life app. And so I knew that that's what I wanted to do. So in that article, I laid out my plan and my product choices and all of the apps that I would be using. And then, like I said, Android options as well. And I used outside supplies by digital scrapbook designers. I used products mostly by Sahlin Studio, and British Designs. And then I used the Pick Stitch app because they had that template shape that I wanted. And I knew that I could be successful doing this on my phone because I knew that it would be fast and easy. I had had a little bit of experience at that point doing things on my phone. But one thing that I didn't include in that article that I had decided that I was going to do was I was going to just focus on one thing each day that brought me happiness or joy in that day, or that I was thankful for. I wasn't going to try and make it a Christmas activity every day or anything else related to that because I knew that I couldn't handle that. I don't do Christmas activities every single day in December, and I didn't want any additional pressure on myself. My hope that was by changing that one thing, it would help me stay on focus and help me bring some of the happiness and joy back to Christmas that I feel like I had lost up to that point. There are plenty of studies out there that show that by focusing on the happy times and remembering them, it helps us feel more happiness. And I am very happy to say that I was successful in this project. I was successful in not only completing it, but also by focusing on the happy things. It did really help me feel happier during that Christmas season. And it helped me feel about Christmas in a way that I hadn't felt about it for a really long time. I didn't get consumed by the overwhelm. That book is one that I printed 6x6 at Adorama Picks about a year ago, I think, is when I printed it. And then last year, in 2015, I did the same project again. And this time I decided to use some number cards by Kate Hadfield. And then I used whatever supplies matched my photos for that day. When I did this December success project the very first time, at the end of December, I went a few days into January where I didn't do anything, and I really, really missed it a lot. And so I decided to keep doing it every single day and see if I could do it for the whole entire year, which I did. So by December of 2015, I had been doing this daily project for a year. And so I wanted to keep going and just make sure that my photos matched my supplies, my cards matched my photos, because I knew that it would drive me crazy to have just a Christmas theme all through December and not have my photos coordinate. By this time, also a year ago, I found that I was documenting a lot of things for each day. I was typically including 4 to 10 photos every single day of things that I wanted to document, things that I was grateful for and happy about, and just additional things that I wanted to make sure I didn't forget. And so it was no longer just a small version. And I ended up printing just December all by itself into a book, December 2015. And I did that as a 10 by 10 book at Adorama Picks. And so last year's book includes December 1st through the 31st. And the year before that only includes December 1st through the 25th. So this year, I have a plan in place, and I'm really looking forward to doing this project again. So for supplies this year, I know about myself that I can't just use one kit or pack for the whole entire year. It would kind of make me crazy because I would be really, really sick of it. I have to mix it up. And so I just match my supplies that I'm using, my cards and everything, to my photos. And that's what I'll be doing this December. I will be using the Project Life app as my main workhorse, and then I will most likely be using some other apps as well. And those will include most likely Over, LetterGlow, the Rana Designs app, most likely a QR code creator, because I'm sure that I will probably include some videos. I love including videos. So I may also be doing some video editing in iMovies. My plan is I will be using the number cards from Sahlin Studio, and I will link up to all of the supplies that I've purchased. There's not a ton, but the ones that I have purchased, I will link up to in the show notes for this show, in the post for this show. And Sahlin Studio's Project Life cards, or pocket scrapping cards that she has this year that I will be using in the Project Life app for the numbers of the days are pretty neutral, and that's why I really like them. They're kind of a creamy color and black and red and then a blue. There's not even any green in them, and so it's not going to be shouting Christmas, but you certainly can make it shout Christmas if you want to by coordinating it with other things. There are a lot of packets in the Project Life app that are collections that I think would work really well with Krista's cards as well. As I move on and get closer to Christmas, I am including more and more Christmas every single day. But in the beginning, there's not as much. Also in the Project Life app, the ABC themed cards also include numbers, but it's only numbers 1 through 10, I believe. I'm checking really quick. It's 0 through 9. So that makes it a little more difficult to use those cards once you get up into the double digits. This year, I'm planning on documenting Thanksgiving through New Year's Eve and doing one page for each day. And during this project, I don't worry as much about coordinating facing pages like I do when I'm doing a vacation album or something else like that. They usually always seem to work out. I've never had any pages that look really bad together at all. It seems to work out great for me to do it that way. So how much time does this take me? It honestly, sincerely only takes me a few minutes per page. If I want to get extravagant and add more overlays and fonts and fun things like that onto my photos and different things in other apps, then it takes me a little bit longer. If I'm going to include a video and a QR code, then it takes me a little longer, and it might take me 15 minutes to do a page. But I don't know that I've ever spent longer than 20, maybe 30 minutes on a page, but that's if I'm doing a lot of additional stuff. Typically, when I'm cruising through it and going through my system that I have in place, it only takes me a couple minutes to get a page done. What kinds of things am I documenting during this time, since I told you that I'm not making it about Christmas, and that's not my focus of trying to do a Christmas memory or story every single day? These are some of the things that I've included in the past. In 2014, I included a page about the gas prices because they got down to $1.68 a gallon, something crazy like that. And so I did include that in there because that was something that I was really grateful for at that time and that I thought was kind of historical too as well. In 2014, it snowed on Christmas Eve, and so I included that. And we also went on a Disney trip that Christmas, and so I included a lot of different memories from the different places that we went. But even then, it was more about the relationships, the family relationships going on, and just how much joy we were having together than it was about the actual Christmas things that we were doing. I included both years a screenshot of my Christmas playlist. I have certain Christmas songs that I love to listen to in Spotify, and so I just took a screen capture of that and included that. I included little bits about my dog every year. And last year I went on a trip to Disneyland with my sister and niece and daughter during December, and so I actually ended up including several pages in that book that I printed up about that trip. But I did also create a separate album that had more of the details of that trip to Disneyland. I often include screen captures of the weather because I love to document the weather. And right now, I'm really enjoying looking back. Since this is only our second year in Arizona, I've really enjoyed looking back to see what the weather was like a year ago at this time. And my kids are really enjoying it too, because we were talking to some people that had just moved here, and they did not believe us that it got down into the 30s last year around Christmas time. And my daughter went and got the December photo book and showed them, opened it up and showed it to them so that they could see, yes, indeed, it was cold last year. I also included pictures of some organic vegetables that I had delivered last year because to me that was amazing that I could have farm fresh organic vegetables delivered in December. And I included photos of our ticket stubs, or the email, I guess, confirmation of our tickets to go to Force Awakens last year with my son. I often will include screen captures of text message conversations, funny things, just things that make me happy and bring me joy. A new serial season, if you are a podcast listener and listen to the podcast Serial, last year during December, a new season started. And so I took a screen capture of that and I included it. I included pictures of mail from my daughter who is on a mission, snail mail, because that is one of my true joys to get mail from my daughter who is away. And I, of course, also included the Christmas things that we were doing because last year, being our first year in Arizona, we were trying out some new things to figure out what we wanted to start as new traditions in Arizona. And so I, of course, included photos and pages about those things. Some of the guidelines that I followed for myself was, the first one was that I could change the rules at any time, because that was my first rule, because I decided that I needed to make this work for me and I needed it to be about what I needed and what I needed the project to be for me to be successful and for me to be able to be happy and gain something from the project emotionally as well. And so that was my first rule, was that I wasn't going to follow any rules that I perceived there to be about the project. I just needed to make it what I needed it to be. And I constantly told myself that December success, hashtag December success, is all about doing what helps me be successful. It's not anything else. So I didn't necessarily force myself to create one page every single day. And if I didn't get that page done that day, then that was it. The project was over. I was a failure. That's not how I looked at it. I often, when I'm doing these kinds of things, and even when I was doing my whole year where I did a page a day, I will batch process them and do 3, 4, 5, 7 pages in one day, just because that's what works for me. And if I have a chunk of time, then that's what I do. If I have a few minutes here and there, I'll get in there and do one page, but I'm not going to punish myself and tell myself that I'm a failure if I'm not doing one page every single day. I certainly can, but I don't have to. There were times when I forgot to take photos and I didn't want to let that stop me. And so what I would do is I would look back at my calendar and see what I did. Sometimes I just took a screenshot of the calendar and included that for that day. Other times, if I knew we had done something that I could get a screenshot of, for instance, going to the movie, I could download a movie poster on my phone and use that. Or I would think about the things that we did and figure out a photo that I could take that would represent that thing if I didn't take any photos of it. What do you do if you feel like you don't have anything exciting to include? There's always something, and you have to remember that this isn't about the exciting stuff. This is a different kind of project. This isn't about the fancy magical stuff that's going on in December. This is about what you're grateful for. And there's always something that we can be grateful for. Brene Brown, in one of her books, quotes somebody else that says, joyful people have gratitude. And that's something that in her research she's found, is that people that are joyful are always grateful. And so that's something that I've tried to include more of in my life, not just during November, not just during Thanksgiving season, but all throughout my life, because I have seen how being grateful for the small things in my life does truly bring me more joy. During this past week, I started feeling that overwhelmed, paralyzing comparison and sadness starting to slip in that I start to feel during the holidays, because it's really easy to see the things on social media, Pinterest, Instagram, that other people are doing, the big and wonderful and amazing things. And that's not me. And it's really easy to get discouraged and to have it shut me down, and that I can't do that. I can't allow that to happen. And so this is the one of the ways that I fight it. And so as I felt that overwhelmed, paralyzing feeling creeping in, I talked to my people that I know love me no matter what. And I also decided that I needed to get down to what matters most to me and the most important things in my life. And I just needed to be grateful. And so I committed to doing this project again, because I have found 2 years in a row now that by doing this project, it really has kept those feelings at bay. And I've been able to enjoy the season so much more. Once I made that decision to do my December Success project, I started feeling the cloud lifting and feeling the joy of the holiday season replace it. If you would like some other app suggestions on things that you could use to join in with us on a December Success project, you could try the Collect app, which allows you to add one photo to a 4x6 card that has the date, and it has several different styles of fonts and things like that. It's pretty sleek and modern looking. It's a great app. You can print it up as a 4x6, or you can do two 3x4 cards on one 4x6 and get them printed. One SE, also known as 1 second every day. It's a video app where you video for 1 second every single day, and then it automatically makes a movie out of those 1 second clips. So you could do that for a whole month. If you want a more free-form collage look, you could use the Rana Collage app. That also integrates well in with the Rana Designs app. You can just move them back and forth really easily and add additional artwork and fun things like that. Now, Vel, I did get my sample book back, and I think it's good quality, especially for the less expensive books. If you start adding additional features, then it gets more expensive and not as much of a deal. Chapbooks is a good way to go as well. Timeshell, just adding one photo every single day and then having all of them printed at the end of the month would be a great way to go as well. So if this sounds like something that you want to try and that might be a good fit for you, I would love to see what you do and to hear from you. I will be watching on Instagram for the hashtag December Success, and you can even search on that hashtag and see posts from other people that have done it over the past couple of years with me. You can also see some of my old pages in that feed, that hashtag feed, as well as on Modern Photo Solutions on Instagram towards the very beginning of my posting there. That's what I was mainly posting. If there is a lot of interest in a Facebook group specifically for December Success, I would be happy to start one. I have a poll currently on the Modern Photo Solutions Facebook page. So if you go to facebook.com/Modern Photo Solutions and just let me know that you're interested by checking off yes on that poll, then I would be happy to start a Facebook group if we get enough people that want to contribute. In my mind, that Facebook group would be to provide support and inspiration and to post pages to share with one another and to share success stories, of course, because that's what it's all about. I hope that this has been a little bit helpful for you as you head into the holiday season. I know I've seen a lot of people posting that it's too overwhelming for them, a December project, and they've wanted to try it but haven't been able to do it just simply because of how overwhelming it is. So I hope that this different perspective is a little bit helpful to you as you head into the holidays. And I hope that you all have a wonderful Thanksgiving. I will be back next week with a full length episode that I'm really excited about, and I know you will be too. Please leave us a review in iTunes if you love this podcast, and also share this podcast and the free class with people that you know are struggling from photo overwhelm, because the reality is it is really common. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it. Thank you for your support. I love doing what I'm doing, and I'm so grateful that I get to do what I'm doing and be on this journey with you as you conquer your own photo overwhelm. We'll see you next time on Modern Photo Solutions.